Hello and welcome to Jamie's Motion Graphics, episode 63. Today we're making our own flourishes and they look like this. All of this has been made in After Effects and all of this has been made from scratch. If you want to make your own flourishes, just keep watching and I will explain step by step how you can make it yourself. Okay, here we are in After Effects and we are going to make our own flourish. There are basically two ways to do this. First of all, and that's the easy way, well, not the best way in my opinion, but the easy way is to just use lines and little images to make your own flourish. And as you can see, this, this is already looking pretty decent. So how I did this is very simple. I just made a layer and just put on some masks. I will show you. So if we turn on the masks, you can see that the masks are just lines that I later filled in with the stroke. So you just select stroke from here and you apply the stroke to the layer. You select a mask that you want to mask out and then it just draws the line. You can set different line widths. The problem is you can't vary the line width. So if you want to make, for example, a thicker line here up until this point and then a thinner line for the rest because it splits in two, you can do that, but you have to use two different masks. By the way, this is a mask that I used to just shut off the rest. It's this additive mask. The rest doesn't have a mask because they're all open. But this just shuts off the color, making it easier for me. So the leaves, you saw them grow here. They are just, well, little pieces of, just this. I just made a mask. Hang on, let me show you the mask. So this is the actual leaf. It has 4 points, blah blah blah, and then the other mask, the one underneath it, will just slide over it and it will make it visible. And by doing so and actually lining up the anchor point, I didn't do that. You should line up the anchor point over here. By doing that, you can use that leaf in your composition, and as you can see, I use it quite a few times, 11 times to be exact, and I just timed them so that when the line reaches the leaf, it starts developing, and I did that for every one of them, making it look awesome. So this is the first way. You can definitely do it like this. It's very easy to understand. You can just draw your thing and then just animate everything. Well, the leaves I already showed you. I will show you the stroke as well. The stroke is edited by using the end property. The start property is basically where the line starts, and that should always be 0. Then the end property is, well, I will show you. It's edited over time. So this one, for example, is 0 here and is 100 here. So it will reach the end of the line right here. But then the next one will start here because that is when the line reaches this little intersection. So at that point, both lines should continue. And they will have different speeds. You can see that this one is way faster than this one, but that is what makes your animation or your flourish look good. If you have the same speed everywhere, it looks very, weird, to be honest. So just set your endpoint to something. You can of course play around with it a little bit. I'm not going to do that because here there's another intersection right at this moment. It reaches the intersection, so the next one will actually start moving and it will just animate out and go to 100%. So easy enough to understand, right? Then the second one is, in my opinion, better, but it's also a lot more work. As in a lot. I will show you the mask that I had to make for this, and every one of these points is edited by hand. So yeah, it's quite a lot of work, but it does result in this. And I don't think you can, well, you can actually make that with the other principle as well, but it's very hard to do. So how did I make this? First of all, I went to Google search and just went for flourish, and I took one. It's in here somewhere, this one. I don't really know where it is, but is it this one? It might actually be. I don't know. Anyway, I also took this one. Oh, it's over here, right in my face. So I downloaded this one. I also downloaded this one. I'm going to animate that later for those of you who need a little bit more, well, instruction after this. And then basically what you do is, let me turn on the masks again. So what we do is we put in the picture. In this case, it was a two-sided picture, so I only took one half of it. And I just dropped it in here and then made a mask. You can see it here. Well, first of all, this yellow mask is just to cut off the right side of the image. So I'm only going to edit half of it. And I just edited this mask by hand, as I said, to follow the contours and to just, well, to just reveal whenever I want something revealed. So little steps every frame. And then once you reach, like over here, I'm going to reach this point. And at that point, some other mask, well, two other masks in fact, will start developing as well. And you can see that they will actually trigger other masks. So over here, to, for example, do this one. And well, they're not all as complex. I will show you later, as I said, how to make this as efficiently as possible. And then you have the entire animation. So what do you do with this? You render this out. So you go to your render queue, you add it to your render queue. You render it, and then what you can make out of that is, well, as you can see, it's called half flourish. That's because this is only half of the entire thing. And then what you can make out of this is this. So yeah, it looks pretty good, I think. So this is just the same flourish times 4 with a little bit of a drop shadow and some ramp. And I think it looks very, very nice. So for a little bit of work, because it does take some work to make this, but yeah, well, hey, some good things always take time. So we're going to make a new one now, and to do that I'm going to take my flourish, which looks like this. Yes, it looks terrible. We put it into a new comp, and to make it work we're going to invert the colors, because currently it is black on black. And well, I made it into a PNG. You don't actually have to, you can just work with a JPEG, which works fine as well. And as you can see now, it's white, and it actually looks okay, it seems. We are going to apply a solid to the background, just to see if there's any remaining stuff that we need to deal with. And apparently there is. So we're going to color key that out, effect, keying, color key, and we are going to, well, normally select a color, and I don't think I can actually do this, but no, that is terrible. Oh, it's on the wrong layer as well. Come on, over here. I'm going to just set it to black. Okay. Color tolerance, just drag that up until all of the black is gone, and then you can, if you want to, use the edge thin to, yeah, you have to be very careful with it, to thin out the edge. So you can make it 0,5 or something like that. Oh, it's actually saying 1 immediately. Whatever. You can use it. You can also use the feather option to just refine the edges a little bit, because sometimes the pixels can be quite harsh and you don't want that. So, but because this is such a fragile shape, it's very thin everywhere. You want to have a very small amount of this. So let's say 0.1, 0.2, something like that. Anyhow, that being done, we can delete the background, and yeah, we are stuck with this. So now we're going to just make a mask, because that's what we do. So just pick up your pen tool here, and we're going to have to see where we start. Well, this one obviously starts over here, and then goes like this. So like the two swirls. You can of course also start here, go back, You can go here and then go back and go forward in the same time, but we're going to start over here. So make your first, yeah, well, kind of frame. Well, not kind of frame, it is your first frame. And make sure you drag out the points so that you get these rounded things. So if you're having trouble deciding, hit M by the way and turn off this mask, so set it to none. It's way easier to work with that way. If you're having trouble deciding how fast you want something to go, you can just very simply apply a mask to it. So just go like this, yeah, well, you'll have to, hang on, let me do it properly. You'll have to just edit the mask so that it follows the, well, the shape. And just, yeah, drag it out. Let's go here, let's go here, and end it over here. So let's assume that this was actually done correctly. It shouldn't be too hard to do. I'm having trouble seeing the mask, but I'll fix that in a moment. So this is done now. If you were having trouble fixing seeing the mask, just change it to a color that you can actually see on both white and black, and then yeah, you can see the mask a little bit better. It's just a little trick. Anyhow, what we now want is we want to do stroke and put the stroke onto the layer. Say we want to edit mask 2, and we want to go this entire thing, so from here up until there, in 2 seconds. Let's assume that. You can of course do this for every one of these avenues that it travels along. We're going to edit this from 0 to 2 seconds, and at 2 seconds it needs to be 100%. At 0 it needs to be 0. And now let's turn up the brush size, and let's not make it white, let's make it red, and it should be visible now. Yeah, there it is. It's a little bit too big, obviously. There you go. So now we have it set to 2 seconds, and in 2 seconds it will go to the end. So now we can just use this as a guideline for where we need to be. So let's use that and go to mask 1, go to your mask path and hit the stopwatch. Currently we are at 0, which means that we should actually be at 0, because otherwise making this thing doesn't make sense. And now with page down you can just scroll frame by frame. So if I do this now, I'm getting into trouble because I'm cutting off part of it. Well, we can solve it here by just doing it like this and continuing on. However, at some point we will need to add more, well, dots. You can just add a dot and be fine with that. There is no reason to fear adding more dots because it will not affect the ones that you've already done. So yeah, it's pretty useful to know that you can just add more. And we're going to, oh, I only had one of them. We're going to very quickly mask this and make sure that we don't run into too much trouble. So here it's going to be a little bit difficult because we have to avoid this. And to do that, we're going to add one more point to make sure that we can, well, just avoid hitting that. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with these. Maybe they're going to just go with it. I think they should go with it. But maybe I'm going to start over here and just let them go 2 separate ways. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to figure that out as we go. So this way, with this kind of editing, well, or progression thing going on, it is fairly easy to see what is going on and where we need to be with our thing. But you can of course decide for yourself if you want to use that, or if you're like, nah, I want to just, well, eyeball it, see where we go from there. So you can do it like this as well. It's not as efficient. But yeah, we only need a few more pixels and then we're done here. I'm going to use this one and then add a new point over here. No, that is not on the line. Yeah, you have to be on the line because otherwise it doesn't count. So I'm trying to avoid revealing these pixels, and obviously you don't want to include those. Yeah, I can't see them. So let's go with blue. And just continue on. So far so good. First part is done. And yeah, you can do this in several ways, but this is definitely a little bit sloppy. And especially this last frame is not the way it's supposed to be. So if you're then trying to figure out like what does it look like, just turn off everything you don't want to see. So for example, I would not want to see this this stroke. So just turn it off and turn off the mask, and then set your mask to, well, add. And then you can see that I indeed did not pick up any pixels of the surrounding area. And if I play it, it looks awesome. That's as easy as it gets. Yeah, well, let's just continue on. So turn back the stroke and set this to none again, so we can actually see what we're working with. So now we have to decide what we're going to do with this part. I am going to decide that I want it to kind of start animating right here so that it can flow with the rest. I am going to add a new mask to this, so not using the old mask, or not reusing the old mask, I should say. And this should be, by the way, the first pixel. So I'm trying to kind of let it go in line with the other one. Yeah, so if we go to the mask path here and we turn this on, you will see that if you go backwards in time, that it will just stay there. So what we want is we go to our first thing, we go one frame in front of it, and then we drag our entire mask to where it shows only black. It's as easy as that. Yeah, there's really nothing else to it. So a little bit of a thing here, and now set this one to none as well. So currently we want to be over here, and we want to be over here, and you can kind of estimate. I mean, you don't have to be super precise with this, unless you want to be. I mean, you can definitely make something like with surgical precision. It's just that, well, you don't normally need to. So I'm going to add a new point just to make it easier for myself to reveal this. And to not bump into the other one, although that is not a big problem because that one is getting revealed as well at the same time. So yeah, doesn't actually matter in this case, but yeah, sometimes it does. I just want to show you the right way to do stuff. So yeah, we're going to edit this one. Make sure that you don't lose pixels that you already revealed. I was getting really close to losing some pixels, and that looks really, really, really crappy. So I am going to add another point, I guess. Just to make sure that I can keep, well, this part. And yeah, just continuing on. So now that this one is basically done, so the first mask, we're just going to continue the route with this one. And let's pull this one out a little bit. Like that. And like that. So this one is going to be revealed at the same time, but this one might not be. I don't know yet. Probably is. We're probably going to have to reveal this one at the same time or something like that, but this is not the ideal thing to teach you this, I just realized, because it has so many like little things that you can choose to reveal at the same time, but well, you don't have to, and basically lots of choices that you may not want to make. So, oh, I accidentally selected this one as well, which is not something I wanted. So I have to go back in time now and fix it. There you go. So just selecting this one, going forwards, and with our guideline, this is just basically just drag and drop every time. So the last one was a little bit better. The one that I did previous was a little bit better at well, showing you what kind of decisions you normally face, but I guess, well, this one's fine too. It is a completely different one. I'm just going to ignore the fact that I'm revealing the one on top here as well. I'm going to assume that I'm going to do that anyway. So I might as well include it like that. And of course you want to make sure that the bottom part is also big enough. Okay, going forward. Yeah, it's pretty boring to do, but the result is just, well, so good. It's really not a whole lot of effort involved. It just takes some time. It's very simple work, yes, indeed. But yeah, this is why you normally buy these things as a designer, because it takes a lot of time to make even a few. And well, if someone already made them, why should you worry about it? So the beauty, of course, of having these different avenues, so these different twirls, is that you can animate them normally at different, well, speeds. And that's what I'm going to try to do. So I'm going to try to avoid this one, just so I can show you what that looks like. So I'm going to put in a point over here and a point over here. No, that's not on the line. I don't know why it does that. Like, do you really think I wanted to be half a pixel away with my second one? I mean, what the hell? But yeah, it doesn't matter. So one frame forward. Let's go here, which is fine. I'm just trying to avoid that one thing. If you want to avoid more than just the one thing, you will have to add more points. Okay, so currently it is running into my thing, the thing that I was trying to avoid. So yeah, it does need to reveal these, it seems. Okay, once again, we are going for a color. And red may not be the smartest choice, but hey, we have red now. Yeah, the line is also red, so let's go green. Okay, point forward. I don't know how the bottom part is doing here. Seems to be okay for now. So yeah, just masking it out. And of course, if you're doing this at home, you might want to be a little more precise in how you do this. But for now, I think we're doing fine. So yeah, I'm my line is a little bit off from where I actually want to be. So for my actual thing that I'm revealing. And by the way, I'm not paying attention to what's happening here because we're going to apply a different mask for that one. Every avenue, every intersection should start a new line. and that is something that you really need to do, because otherwise you will get into trouble, because, well, it's just a lot more work that way. If you just make a new mask for every twirl or every thing at an intersection, so I'm going to make a new one for this part, I'm going to make a new one for this part, but I'm first going to do the main line, which is normally the longest one, which would have been this one, but in this case, yeah, I do the top one. Whatever, it doesn't actually matter which you do first. You have to do them all anyway, unless you want to just cut off part of it, which is fine too. It's all up to your own imagination what you want with that. And we're going to add another point here, just to make sure that we don't run into trouble. Oh, that was a little bit too far forward. Need to be over here, and then over here. Yeah, that's fine. Next, let's go here. And you can see that this one is getting revealed as well, but by now I should have that revealed anyway. So otherwise we can always change it later. It is a little more work if you're already done with something, but well, it's just a minor thing. So, oh, that wasn't good. That wasn't good either, because it probably means that we picked up the entire mask. And that's not good either. Just pick up this one thing. There you go. Okay, I'm going to check on, yeah, this exactly. So let's put this over here. Go back in time a little bit just to make sure that I don't, well, reveal my pixels. Although by now it should be fine. By now it should be kind of revealed anyway, because we're pretty far into this one. So yeah, this is why you would normally make these lines for every avenue, for every intersection, for every, well, twirl, because then you can see what the timing should be, and you can very quickly mask out, like, where should I be, what can I reveal, or what can I cross over, what can I not cross over yet, and that way you should never get into trouble. Now I kind of have to estimate, and yeah, it's just tedious. Anyhow, yeah, this leaf over here is getting revealed in a really strange way, but we'll fix that later, because, well, that's how we roll. We fix everything afterwards. Almost done, and that should be the final one. Everything revealed. So yeah, it's not a pretty mask, but it will do, hopefully. Yeah, so let's fix some stuff. First of all, we're going to fix this leaf getting revealed. So to do that, we need another point here and one over here, I guess. And we're going to use these, if I can actually find them, to reveal this leaf in a proper way. So try to keep your line perpendicular to the movement direction, and oh, and if you can do that, you should actually get a nice reveal going. And try to make like an interesting wave front, so it shouldn't be a straight line. And yes, lines are always straight, because otherwise they're called curves. Yeah, I did kind of create a weird shape here. So I'm creating a new one. And then, yeah, this is why it's so much work to do something after you've already created the rest of the mask, because you have to address everything instead of just doing it right there. So what does it look like now? It's getting revealed step, 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 step. Okay, it's not bad. It's definitely not super equal. Oh, and this one, of course, needs to be changed as well, because by now it should get hidden. Okay, this one then. Let's go forwards or backwards in time. So this one gets revealed, 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 and yeah, at this point I think we can do a little bit more with it. Like, it can be revealed a little bit quicker. Maybe over here. I made a point very close to it. Let's not do that. And once again, try to make it perpendicular to the way you're moving. Although you don't have to be exactly perpendicular, but here, for example, it should be like this and not like horizontal or something like that, because that would look weird. Okay. Put you over here. Put you over here, but rotate it around. Then drag this out. Okay, like that. And now you can just be like that. But now we have to do this for every single frame that's behind this, because it needs to be revealed in all frames. And that's just the way it is. Okay, we're done. Next, well, we still need to do these two, and we still need to do these. Let's do these. Back. So this is where it starts. This one is going to get its own reveal thing. So let's see what this one does. So far, so good. It's a little bit weird, but I mean, it's very slow. So we can actually speed that up a little bit. I'm just saying, like, yeah, okay. Let's start revealing this. Yeah, try to keep your eyes on where you want the next frame to go. That is a very important thing. So I want to be here, and you can see that, yeah, kind of the steps should be about equal size. So that's why you need to keep track of where your next one is going to be. So here, and then, because now it jumps back. So now you can just pick up one of the points that you made for this, just put it over there. So the next one is going to be, I don't know, over here somewhere. Oh. I forgot where I put it. There, I think. Yeah, somewhere here. So now this point is going to belong to this little leaf. So I'm going to make a new point. and just do the same thing with it. Make sure you don't reveal this, because, well, we haven't revealed that yet. And just make it work. So yeah, just put it somewhere, and you can actually just make new points just to avoid your obstacles or to get around things. I don't know. Just figure it out. Make sure that every frame is good, because, well, you will notice it if pixels go missing, or even worse, if things get revealed before they are supposed to. Because that looks really weird. Okay, let's make this happen a little bit. This is going to be tough. Okay, it actually works. Not entirely yet, but screw this. Just make a new point. It is way easier than dragging all these things to finally match up with something. And just make sure that you get the right line. So currently this is the line that I wanted, maybe a little bit more like this. And now 2 more pixels and then we're done. Hang on. This one needs to be over here somewhere. Going like this. This one needs to be over here. And yeah, I'm kind of having trouble now judging whether or not I'm inside or outside of the mask. Yeah, this one can just stay there. I'm just going to make a new point, because as I said, that is way easier than trying to drag all of these things. So currently I think I want it to be like this, and then afterwards it just has to be completely revealed. So this one is now outside of the mask, the rest is all inside of the mask. And now we're going to just reveal the entire thing. There you go. Without revealing this, preferably. And we'll have to do that for every single frame. So of course the options are limitless, because, well, so many possible ways to drag these masks around to get the right pixel selected. I think this is the last one, so that's excellent. And that means that this should be done now. Okay, just for the fun of it, let's have a look at what it looks like. So this should be add, this should be add, and this should be shut off. Let's see. Well, not bad. Well, you could see that some of it here came in to view. We need to fix that, unless that is not an issue. Yeah, look at this. No, that's not going to be an issue. Okay, let's, on this layer, at least fix some of the stuff that's still not done over here. And then we're going to add a new mask for, or a new, well, layer for this one and this one. Okay, yeah, I don't like to work everything on one layer, because, well, it just gets messy, and yeah, it's already messy enough. Let's find the starting point, turn on the stroke. So it's going to be, well, first of all, this one. It's going to be this frame. One over here, one over here, and one over here, and then close it. Okay, just drag it back to where you want it to be, and remember, we need to first of all edit the mask path, then go one frame back in time. Just take the entire mask and just drag it to somewhere where it won't show anything. Now we are on the way. Nope. Selected too much. This one and this one. Holding Shift allows you to select multiple things. And because I now have the other two masks already there, I can just immediately see what I'm doing. This one should be set to none as well. Yeah, so I can just overlap with the masks. It doesn't matter because it doesn't affect what I'm doing. In fact, it only re-reveals the pixels that are already being revealed. So I'm going to drag this out a little bit. And last frame, because now it's all revealed. So here I reveal like half an extra pixel. Yeah, nobody cares. Okay, last one then. That is this thing. Well, it has multiple things. I think I'm going to treat it as one though. Should start about here, I think. Oh, yeah, we don't want the shape layer. We want it to be like this. So if you're not sure whether you picked the right pixel or the right time moment to start your new layer, I'll tell you it doesn't matter at all. Like, completely unimportant, because they will meet up, and every frame in my case is 1/30th of a second. It's between 1/30th or 1/60th, something like that. So yeah, nobody will notice if you're one frame off or even 2 frames off. It doesn't matter at all. So go to your first frame, go one back in time, hide the mask, and we're going forwards. And by the way, if you're adding this to none, it's a little bit easier to see what you're doing. Okay, we can actually do something cute here. I'm going to add a thing, 2 more points, and then we're going to drag these forward to reveal this one. It's not what I wanted. I wanted this one to be over here somewhere. Not like this, but so this one is going to be revealed before this one actually reaches it, just to give it a little more, well, a little more flair, a little more energy. Okay, somewhere here. So we can do it like this. And I want this one to be revealed a little bit quicker. So the other one has to catch up now. And he will, don't worry, he will. It's also one of the reasons why it doesn't matter whether you're 1 or 2 frames off, because you can just make the other guys catch up. And if you're like, ah no, I screwed it up completely, yeah, just restart. Let me change this to, I don't know, purple. Something we can actually see. So this one is going to be over here. Whoa. Yeah. Control Z. It still needs a Control Z, but whatever. I'll fix it. What is happening here? Okay. Needs to be like this, of course. and this one is going to be right here. This one is going to be forward a little bit still. Just getting closer. And you can of course do whatever you want. So and at this point, so the next frame is going to be caught up. Or it's, well, the one thing is going to catch up with the other one. Come on. Yeah, I tend to misclick a lot, which is what causes all these issues. Okay, and now it's just going to follow the red line. Here's the other one. No, just the two of them. I had one of the green points selected there as well. I don't want to disturb the green mask because that one is already done. So this one is now taking over. We can do one more over here somewhere. And let's make sure that we don't lose pixels here. Yeah, and just making sure that I didn't accidentally miss like a few pixels. But yeah, the green mask has it here. Okay, so the green mask will take over for the rest. And now, as I said, we're going to do these two remaining things in a different one. So set all of these to add, and then we will be able to see what we've done so far. And then if you scroll to the last frame and turn off the stroke and turn off the mask, you can actually see that this is what we have created so far. So we still need this one, we still need this whole flourish on the right side, but so far it looks pretty nice. So at this point we should look at, well, from here on out something is going to happen. So Control D to duplicate, hit the M, delete all the masks. So this one is our bottom, the one that we already made, and our new one is obviously the one that is going to do the rest. So currently, no, did I not have anything selected? So sloppy. Anyway, yeah, now we're going to just go over here, close this, and because now we only show this part, we can see where the other one is. Mask path. So we can go to the right frame and then tag onto it, making sure that we get just about the same amount of everything. Set the mask path, go one, well, back in time, and then everything will be fine. So now we're going to reveal the right side. So don't worry about revealing anything else. And we can now turn it back to none. And here we're going to have to judge what the speed is going to be. Set a point there. As long as we don't reveal what is on the right side, so basically this part, we should be fine. Oh, I think that was a little bit too far. Yeah, I forgot to move forward, so that's what that was. And we're just moving forward. and forward. And let's make another point over here to make sure that we don't get into trouble. Okay, just keep selecting, keep moving. Just select every single bit. Because if you leave pixels behind, that's of course messy as well. Okay, making a new point over here just to make sure. Where's my thing? It's over here. Yeah, and this is kind of tedious once again, but it does result in nice things. Okay, the steps are a little bit big, but that just means it gets refilled a little bit quicker. There are no rules. You just have to make it up for yourself. And okay, let's make some new points just to make sure that I don't reveal stuff or unreveal stuff. I think I did that a little bit too hasty. Trying to reveal both of them at the same time obviously is not the way you should do it. You should just make another point. Make it easy on yourself. This one's done. This one is not done yet. Now, let's get the edge correctly. And we are done. Okay, so the entire thing should be revealed except for this part, which means that we have one more mask to draw. And to create that, we are going to go to the add, and we're going to see where it actually starts. Right here. Yeah, same point as the other one. Okay, so I did this to, well, allow myself to reveal it in a different speed. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah, we do want to set the mask path to actually animate, go 1/4, and reveal the nothingness. I'm going to reveal this very slowly. Don't know why. Maybe I want to slow roll something. We don't know. Oh, I'm losing some pixels in the bottom here. As you can see. Still not entirely sure if I covered this part correctly, but in fact I did not. And although probably nobody will notice, I will notice. And yeah, different speeds in the same animation make it a lot better, because it allows you to bring a little more life into it, which is, well, what you're trying to do in the first place. I mean, that's why you're animating it. You're trying to bring like a picture or whatever you're animating, you're trying to bring it to life, and just revealing things in different ways, different speeds, different colors, things like that, makes it come back to life a little bit more. So we are done here. I will show you what it looks like. Let's zoom in a bit. Hang on. There you go. So it's not bad. It actually turned out pretty nice. And well, nothing else to say. So let's use this one in, well, one of our actual projects. So let's make something cool out of it. Let's call it cool. We're going to try to create something nice out of the flourish that we just made, which is this one, and we're going to just plop it in. Obviously it's better to oh, that's really strange composition settings. I know it's there, but okay. The flourish, of course, is, well, actually not that big. I wanted to say it's very big, but it's not. So we're going to create something that goes from the middle outwards, and to do that we need 4 of these. So duplicate it just the once, rotate it 180 degrees, and put it together somewhere like this. Take both of them, duplicate, set them to, well, 3D layer, rotate them on Y 180 degrees, and then move them one by one, because, well, that's the way it has to be done. On X direction only. And this one as well, position to the left. It's not entirely, well, in the right spot yet, but we'll fix it. The bottom two, no, that's the top two. The bottom two, position, just drag them there, and then we're going to drag them to the bottom. I guess they're not going to be lined up nicely over there, and we can actually copy the entire thing if we wanted to. Hang on. Oh, I needed to hit P for position, otherwise it won't go with us. Okay, that's fine. So I guess we're going to make the composition 1280 by 1280. And then we're going to just take all of these, duplicate them, put them all together, and rotate them over 90 degrees. Okay, that could have gone better, but, well, now I have to do it all by hand, I guess. Not this one. Come on. Yeah, I wanted to obviously move the entire thing, but that didn't go as planned. I'm just going to line it up like this. Oh, that's not the right one. And I need some vision over this, because that's where I'm lining them up. And then these should be lining up like this. Take the top four, 1, 2, 3, 4, and drag them down. Something like that. Okay, so this is the entire thing then. It seems to be reasonably centered. And you can see that you get all these weird shapes just by combining them. And since it's really handmade, it's not entirely matched up everywhere. But yeah, I hope you can forgive me for that. You can make it better. I'm sure you can. We're going to add a background layer. So solid, let's make it into a nice brown shade, brown color. Put it on the bottom, obviously. Duplicate it. Change the color of it to black. And then go to the ellipse tool, double click it. Then go to the mask, set it to subtract. Set it to feather a bunch. And then set the opacity to something less until you're like satisfied. Like, okay, this is a good look. And now we're going to take all of this. We're going to pre-compose it. Oh, I didn't get all of them. Now I do. Pre-compose. Yeah. And we're going to add the ramp to it. Oh, not to this. Hang on. We need to have another solid. Color doesn't matter, because we're going to apply the ramp to it. And the ramp is going to be going from white in the middle to, let's say, something like this on the edge, and it is going to be not a linear but a radial ramp. The midpoint should be set to the mid, 640. And okay, that looks good. But now it has to be applied to obviously that. So the easy way to do that is just set the Luma mat, and there you can see the end result. It may not be like the best ever. Okay, what are we now going to do? We're going to add a drop shadow to it. Drop shadow. Put it on the pre-comp. And I'm not sure if it shows up here. No, it does not. So we're going to have to duplicate the pre-comp first. Put it underneath the thingy. Because this one is actually, well, that's the Luma mat. This one is now, well, for our drop shadow. And we're going to have to, hang on, because this is always a problem. The drop shadow doesn't work properly if you have certain issues. So for example, oh, it does work here. If you're using screen here, then it doesn't work. So you need to set it to normal, and then it normally works. But yeah, I can see it because the layer was turned off. And here you can see how that works. You can set the distance. So it appears to be further away if the shadow is further away. I like 235 as an angle. It just looks natural to me. But you can of course make your own angle. Distance, yeah, that always depends on what you like. I like this one. And I like to have it a little bit softer so that it looks as a real shadow, not as just the same thing, but then, well, in black. And, well, what it looks like now is here. When it starts forming, it will immediately create a shadow, and that is actually quite a nice effect. So, yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So we can, of course, add a million other things to this. And by the way, if you want to go for more, let's call it realism, then the start of the ramp here should not be over here. It should be somewhere over here, because the light is coming from that direction according to the shadows. So yeah, there's that. It doesn't really matter. It's just that, well, it seems the obvious way to go. So let's go to here. That's the end of the ramp. And now you can see that it actually just becomes darker towards that end. And yeah, I think that looks okay-ish. So let's have a look. This is the real speed. If you're like, well, that's too fast, you can just time edit it by, well, pre-composing the entire thing and then right-click here. If you pre-compose the entire thing, you can right-click time and then time stretch, and you can just fill that out. So obviously we're not going to do that because, well, I think it's good. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about this. I was kind of thinking of what else can we do, but I think I've talked long enough here, and I think you should have a pretty decent, well, understanding, I guess, of what is happening here and how you make your own flourishes. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.